I don't know how to express the regret, the sorrow.
Welcome to Watch Sinister Narrative. Today we're going to explore 10 terrifying facts about serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer.
I do think I was born like this.
Number 10. Discovery of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims. Milwaukee police officers made an unforgettable discovery when they entered Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment, finding the remains of 11 human bodies hidden throughout the property. Among the shocking evidence was a refrigerator containing severed heads and organs, a grim testament to Dahmer's meticulous preservation method. This gruesome find exposed the true extent of Dahmer's heinous crimes, revealing a serial killer who had been secretly murdering and dismembering men over years. Number 9. Cannibalism. In most of his murders, Jeffrey Dahmer would start keeping and eating his victims after slaughtering and dismembering them. Contrary to rumors that Dahmer used human flesh to cook food for his friends at parties, he always considered this story to be false. Even in prison, he tried to call one of his neighbors and reassure her that this is not true, but she didn't answer his calls. Number 8. Belief in the rebirth of victims. Dahmer believed that by eating the flesh of his victims, they would come back to life inside him. Number 7. The first victim. He committed his first murder in 1978, just a few days after graduating from high school. Dahmer invited a 19-year-old boy named Stephen Hicks to his apartment, but eventually killed him because he didn't want to Stephen leave him. He then slaughtered Stephen's body into pieces and placed each piece in a plastic bag and buried it in a nearby forest. Number 6. Watch movies with victims. Dahmer was a staunch fan of Star Wars and Exorcist series, so that sometimes even before killing victims, he would make them watch these movies with him. Number 5. Accusation of racism. Most of Jeffrey's victims were black men, and many accused him to racism, but he completely denied this claim in court. Number 4. Keeping a souvenir of victims. Dahmer often took pictures of his victims as souvenirs, and when he killed his victims, he used these photos for masturbation. Number 3. The first big mistake. Dahmer once accidentally drank a sleeping drink he had made for one of his potential victims, and after he woke up, he found that the person had stolen $300, a camera, and several other items. Number 2. The second big mistake. In May 1991, Dahmer almost got caught. The story was that Knirek, a 14-year-old boy, had come to Dahmer's apartment and taken drugs. After drilling holes in the boy's skull while he was unconscious, Dahmer injected diluted acid into the boy's brain. After doing this, Dahmer left his apartment to buy more alcohol, but when he returned, he found that the victim had regained consciousness and was able to run into the street. While the half-naked boy was talking to 3 neighbors, they called the police because of the boy's appearance and his young age. But when the cops arrived, Dahmer convinced them by just saying that the boy was his partner. Number 1. A painful encounter. When Jeffrey was arrested and went to prison, his pattern of murders, which mostly targeted black men, finally cost him dearly. One of the inmates, named Christopher Scarver, when he was alone with Jeffrey, in memory of all of Jeffrey's victims who were of his race, finally killed Jeffrey with multiple blows to the head with a metal rod.